Imagine sitting in a 1952 cinema when the film literally jumps off the screen at you. Welcome to Lux, one of the most mind-bending Doctor Who adventures yet. Now, before we go any further, we need to go to Red Alert, as this video contains spoilers for the second episode of the second season of Ncuti Gatwa's Doctor. So if you haven't seen it yet and you don't want to know what happens, stop the video here. Go watch it, then come back and see if you agree with my picks for Hoorays and Boo-Hoos. Tonight, we're in sunny Miami. May the 24th, 2025, a date the TARDIS can't reach. But the Doctor and Belinda stumble into a retro movie palace, complete with Scooby-Doo nods and a 50s diner coffee break. Suddenly, an animated villain named Mr. Ring-a-Ding, voiced by Alan Cumming, hijacked the screen with an earworm jingle. Before you know it, our heroes are sucked into the celluloid, and so are a trio of real-life Who fans who break every rule of the fourth wall. From the Purple Rose of Cairo callbacks to Last Action Hero and the ring scares, Lux packs homage, horror, and hilarious meta twists, and even a mid-credit surprise you won't want to miss. So first on my list of hoorays is racism. Wait, yes, no, that's right. It's the references to the racism in 1952. The references to the segregation that existed at the time. Absolutely on point for Doctor Who. I did feel that the Doctor was a little dismissive of them, which tiny bit problematic, but he acknowledged them, and he acknowledged them really, really well, I felt, as did the episode and the writing. My second hooray is one that gave me chills. Was when the Doctor sat in the diner, says about his police box, does that give you hope? Brilliant, because we know, and callbacks to the special Day of the Doctor, where Rose, or rather the Moment, says that the noise of the TARDIS brings hope to everyone who hears it. Just gave me a bit of a callback to that I thought was really nice. And yeah, just that, does it bring you hope? Oh, it just, yeah, gave me a really nice feeling. My third one is when Lux, or Mr. Ring-a-Ding, if you prefer, keeps saying, "Don't make me laugh." Now, it was fairly obvious that this was a bit of foreboding. To be honest, I was expecting it to be something that would lead to his downfall, like, "Don't make me laugh or I'll die," kind of thing. But for it to have turned out the way it did was a real unexpected twist, and a very welcome one as well from my perspective. It was a nice bit of writing in there, I thought. And my last notable hooray, I've got to mention meeting the fans. I thought this was a beautiful, beautiful moment. It did leave me a bit, what is going on here, when it first happened, but the way it resolved itself was, I thought, particularly nice. And kind of a beautiful, getting that Galaxy Quest reference in there was just absolutely marvelous and utterly on point. And yeah, just I thought that was a really nice way of kind of honoring the fans, bringing the fans into it, bringing a bit of crazy sort of fourth wall obliterating writing into there. It was a really nice moment, and a very nice mid-credit scene as well, following on from that. But it's not all hoorays. There are, of course, some boo-hoos in this as well. So my first boo-hoo is a bit of a nitpicky one. In fact, there are a couple of nitpicky ones in this. It's when we first meet Lux, Mr. Ring-a-Ding, and he's coming out of the screen. And he says, "I'm going all 3D." That's really terminology that wouldn't have been used in 1952. So that was a bit odd and a bit strange, and it kind of jarred me and brought me out of the moment. My second one is something else that seemed a bit incongruous for 1952, was that the cartoons themselves looked too high definition. Now, I sort of understand this because a lot of people will be watching this, like I do, on a 4K TV with, ultra clear aspect, screens. And to have put the cartoons on as they would have looked back in the day, that would have it would have looked a bit crap, if I'm perfectly honest, on the screen. So I get that. But as it was, it looked too crisp and too clean for me. I think if they'd have had some fuzziness to it, even if they'd have put in some artifacts deliberately on the cartoon, that would have helped to sell it a little bit better as having been a 1952 cartoon. But even when we're watching it, and as the audience in the cinema are watching it on screen, it really looked off to me. It looked too crisp and clear. My next one is also related to cartoons. So when Belinda and the Doctor are cartoons and they start talking about, having, emotions and gaining depth, and that's how they revert back to them. That's a kind of, I don't mind puns. I quite enjoy puns in Doctor Who. As long as there aren't too many of them, I think Doctor Who's going to have its serious sides as well. But to have an actual technical resolution to an issue solved by a pun, that didn't work for me. And then it goes on, it's, he's framed us and we're going to break the frame. And yeah, that felt a bit cheap, if I'm honest. My last one is a bit where it left me scratching my head a bit. It's towards the end, as the Doctor's sort of almost being crucified against the wall. He's having the projector light shone through him, and Lux is stealing his regeneration energy. How come the Doctor just walked away from that fine? If Lux had absorbed that much energy that he went from being a celluloid character to becoming real, the Doctor's fine moments later, he didn't regain the energy back, and I felt that's how that should have resolved, is if somehow the energy had been returned back to the Doctor. But does the Doctor have just an infinite supply of energy? No, I know sort of Newtonian physics, and I know about energies. You can't destroy or create energy. You can only transform it from one thing to another. So this kind of seems to be fly in the face of that. The Doctor just seems to be creating as much energy as he wants, and can fill the universe, it seems, with it. That felt a bit underwhelming. But anyway, that's my choices for Hoorays and Boo-Hoos. Overall, I really enjoyed the episode. I don't want to sound like I'm on a downer about it. I'm not. I just felt there were some things that could have been that little bit tighter. And wasn't it great? Just gonna sort of throw this one out there as a bonus thing. Wasn't it great to see Mrs. Flood at the end as well? It's going to be really interesting when we get her character reveal. I have no doubt whatsoever. There are a few rumors floating around about out there, like she might be the Rani or Susan, possibly the Doctor's granddaughter. We've never heard mention of the Doctor's daughter, or very, very little anyway. So who knows? Maybe it's Missy come back. With a name like Flood, though, one's thoughts go back to Amelia Pond, River Song, Rivers, Ponds, Flood, maybe, I don't know. That's all speculation anyway, but I am excited to find out who Mrs. Flood is. But anyway, what do you think of my hoorays and boo-hoos? Do you agree with me? Is there anything that I've put in there that you felt shouldn't be in there? Or is there anything that that I left out that you would want to add? Make sure you put a note in the comments to let me know what you think. If you love deep dives into Doctor Who's wildest moments, hit that subscribe button and ring-a-ding that bell. You won't want to miss a single video.